Yes, yes, you're audible.
Okay, then I am starting my poster. My poster is about the profile of arrhythmia like the previous one mostly. And contrary to the popular belief, cardiac arrhythmias are not uncommon in children. And in the Eastern India, there are less of studies regarding pediatric arrhythmias. So we are doing this study. We have done this study with the patients who had presented in the OPD and IPD with arrhythmias, and the presentation may be for the first time or maybe recurrent, so the daily life is hampered, and the patients are presented in the emergency with unstable hemodynamics, and sometimes they have led to death also. So my aims and objectives are to identify the rhythm variation etiology and formulate a treatment plan and the prognostication of the children with arrhythmias. It was a retrospective study of 90 patients from birth to 18 years of age from January 2017 to June 2019, and the patients were comprised of de novo arrhythmias and post-intervention or post-operative arrhythmias. My result shows that the distribution of arrhythmias were most common among the de novo and also the post-op one. The other causes were atrial fibrillation, most common in rheumatic heart disease, and Epstein's anomaly with multiple accessory pathway, CCTG with complete heart block, shunt lesions, and cardiomyopathy, whether tachycardiomyopathy or DCM, and the other channelopathies. Now, among the tachycardia, the 56% were the supraventricular tachycardia. Among them, there are AVRT, atrial flutter fibrillation, and ectopic atrial tachycardia. And among the bradyarrhythmias, 43.75% were bradyarrhythmias comprised of congenital complete heart block, post-op complete heart block, post-cardiac intervention complete heart block, and sick sinus syndrome. Among the complete heart block patients, we have two neonates who had maternal SLE and anti-ROLA positivity, and they have undergone epicardial single chamber pacemaker. Post-op complete heart block where the patients after perimembranous VSD closure, and they undergone single chamber VVI pacing. Then there are some patients after cardiac catheterization with heterotaxy, they have developed complete heart block. And then there are two patients with junctional rhythm after ASD device closure, who we have treated with Decadron and followed by prednisolone tapering. Then there are patients with thick sinus syndrome who also required pacemaker. Main treatment of the supraventricular tachycardia are cardioversion, mainly electrical cardioversion and pharmacological with adenosine and amiodarone. The follow-up medications we gave to all the SVT patients are mainly metoprolol, and some patients required add-on therapy with digoxin. The ventricular tachycardia drug of choice was amiodarone and sotalol. Some cases of resistant atrial tachycardia needed flecainide, and those patients were admitted because of the QT prolongation and follow-up with Holter monitoring of the QT. There are some patients who required electrophysiological study, and radiofrequency ablation was done successfully in two patients. Two of our patients required AICD for the recurrent VT. So my result analyzed that the most common arrhythmia is the tachyarrhythmia, followed by the bradyarrhythmia, and among the bradyarrhythmia, congenital complete heart block is most common, and the most common drug of choice is adenosine, followed by amiodarone and metoprolol for the supraventricular, and amiodarone for the ventricular one. And pediatric arrhythmias, I am concluding that pediatric arrhythmias are varied in nature and can present in all age groups. Well, some are self-limiting, but some are also very much notorious and resistant. So, if not treated in time, they may be devastating and affect the heart and the hemodynamics. Thank you.
Dr. Jayatri, what was the mean age